it at all harvest stores and participating dealers. It's the perfect opportunity to decorate like a designer for less, only at Paris Space.
Yes, come in. Hold that thought. I'll call you right back. I'll go right back. Partner, Elas Franco, how are you doing? Things are getting really tight in this guava season. Right now, I just don't know what to do. But Franklin, what are you doing? You're sitting on your money machine. With all them skills and ideas that you have, you could go further, faster. Huawei, go to the NDFD. They've got the best rates on business loans, not to mention affordable business support. They'll get your business registered and help you develop your business plan. They'll design your logo and train small business owners just like you. For real, I go down there now. All jokes aside, NDFD is helping people when others would not.
Ticado Noel, Ticado Noel, Ticado Noel. Comité Poétique Créole qui a présenté Ticado Noel à son mouvement créole à ce cute. Get into the Christmas spirit and win prizes on Movement Créole à ce cute on Tuesday, December 10th and Tuesday, December 17th from 6 to 7:45 p.m. Parlez pour 2 minutes ça pose sur différents sujets. Peut-être Noël, belle la Dominique, communauté ou maman ou papa ou belle-mère ou beau-père. Speak for 2 minutes in Creole on different topics and win great prizes on the Movement Creole à Secure. Or sing a Christmas Creole song. Web pour nos checks sur on Powerball, panou anti-cote, et puis gagner cadeau pour Noël, messieurs, mesdames. Noëlito. Ça, c'est pas blague, messieurs. Qui est nous et participer? Cadeau. Bon compliment to Wit Center, Signman, Tichisel, toute connexion, Babel Sarah, Issa Trading, Head of Messieurs, Mouvement Créole, La Secure, Ticado Noël, Mani décembre 10 et Mani décembre 17, 6 étoiles, Q95 FM, One Station Internationale, bon temps, bon bagaille, match ça ici, mesdames.
Have you ever wakened to hear sounds like these?
Oh, yeah?
And now for something completely different.
They told me, a new boy king is born, all white as gifts we bring, to lay before the king. I want to rap. Baby Jesus, I am a poor boy too, I have no gifts to bring. Let's pray to be with him.
Make a ditch on me and make me eat it round town. From the thing on while the heart is a beat. The heart just a break to the rhythm and the chop and the bass play a play. Pick it up and I can look come in and go
Maybe not in Parapapampa, in Pop's Atlantic time, Parapapampa. I played my drums for you, Parapapampa. I played my bass for you, Parapapampa, Parapapampa, Parapapampa. I want to rap-a-pam. Time ago in Bethlehem, so the Holy Bible says, Mary's boy child Jesus Christ was born on Christmas Day. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king born today. And I will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Come on. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king born today. And I will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Trumpet sound and angels sing, listen to what they say. And we'll live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king born today. And I will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. Hark now, hear the angels sing, a new king born today. And I will live forevermore because of Christmas Day. All acquaintance people got and never brought to mind. To all acquaintance people got and never died. All anxiety, all anxiety. You dream of the night, you see anxiety. Oh, all the things people got and never brought to mind. To all the things people got and days ago and time. All anxiety, all anxiety. You bring the darkest night into days and time. All the acquaintance people got and never brought to mind. To all the acquaintance people got and days ago and Abigail, I love you, I love you, I love you, girl.
Jump all around, jump all around, move that body. Jump all around, jump all around, move that body. Jump all around, jump all around, move that body. Jump all around, jump all around, move that body. Jump all around, jump all around, move that body. Jump all around, jump all around, move that body.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let us receive a King. Let every heart prepare. I'm gonna need to sing. I'm gonna need to sing. I'm gonna need to sing. Joy to the world, the sweet sounds. Let men their songs and glory. What fields and flowers, what fields and flowers. It's coming on, it's coming on. It's coming on. He rules the world with and makes the nation rule. The glory of his righteousness. And witness of love, and witness of love, and witness of love.
Focus, man. No 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 focus, man. No. Roll the drums.
For so long I've been waiting. This message all on my mind. I can't wait for this movement and this story. I've got a feeling that it's real. Smiling faces everywhere. Come and join the Christmas fair. I want you all to join in the mood. Sweet feeling that is so good. Mellow, 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 mellow. Mellow, baby, mellow. Mellow, mellow, mellow. Mellow, she baby, mellow. Mellow, mellow, mellow. Mellow, baby, mellow. Mellow, mellow, mellow. I know what it is. Feeling down, feeling down, feeling down, feeling down, feeling down. Feeling down, 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 feeling down. Pour les dégager, oui, mais sauter. Garde papi, mais on peut pas résister. Tout son gamin à canicher. Ay, maman, c'est sacrifice. Ça c'est les c'est un pop, c'est des chimères qui envolent. Mello, 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 we mello, 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 mello. They chimères mello, 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 mello. Mello, we mello, 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 mello. They chimères ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Ding dong, 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 ding dong. The thing that really interests me is the feel of harmony and battle. Honey, on piece of figure of mountain. Where we be pour my alley. When my way, I jump up there. When God this sun, a paper atom. Mellow, 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 mellow. Mellow, we be mellow, 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 mellow. There she be mellow, 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 mellow. Mellow, we be mellow, 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 mellow. There she be ding dong, 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 ding dong. Ding dong, 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 ding dong. Guess who's in town? It ain't Santa. It's the rough, ready band and friends, rocking you, jamming you, pushing you into the right direction. Let's do it. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yonder virgin love. Holy infant, so gentle and kind, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in
Remember Christmas in Dominica. It's a time when we all have to come together to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ our Savior, who was born in Bethlehem without another major. So Christmas is a time for you to be with your lover, embracing one another like a hamburger. So drinking cherry wine and also ginger. Everybody in a place and them a feel proper.
silent. Glory stream from heavenly hosts sing up. Christ the Savior is born. God is free.
Okay, Christmas is a time for us to all care and share. For the Almighty is not one thing but everywhere. Just like the blue sky, just like the year. Just for sure I know He's always there. That's why his birthday only comes once a year. Everyone out of this was not by and terror. He didn't want to say one, but all of us when you celebrating Christmas, celebrating conscious.
Silent night, Son of God, love pure night, radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of freedom in face. Jesus, love thy Jesus, Lord.
Right, Dominica, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the Talk on the Block. If it's on the block, we'll talk about it. The pleasure is mine in the afternoon. We're going to take a break and we'll come right back.
Attention homeowners, contractors, tradesmen, and all. Here's great news from Eaststar Trading Limited. Just received a wide range of German premium quality power tools, vacuum cleaners, cement mixers, power wash machines, and more. And grass cutters at only $595. Visit our showroom opposite of the supermarket on the bayfront for world-class Ronix power tools, swipers, power car wash, spray guns, and many more items. All at 220 volts to 50 hertz and all at affordable prices. Eaststar Trading Limited, making a difference for you.
Dominica, good afternoon again. This afternoon, I'm going to have an open line. I was expecting a guest, but due to circumstances totally beyond his control, we have to postpone until a later date this week. So I'm going to open up the lines. I'm going to start off this afternoon with an article I read in a couple days before. And it reads, started off with a question mark written by Mr. Joshua Francis. Very, very relevant and timely comment, given the fact that we've heard in recent times that the government of Dominica, the Labour Party government, is or will be giving some homes away. I say given. So it's absolutely free. Let's say, for argument's sake, that you want to commend the government for, of course, reaching out to the poor and the less fortunate. But the question remains, are these houses almost like a carrot stick being dangled for a vote? Which forces me to ask a question, or which leads to the next question. When will these people get their certificate of title? That's a discussion we haven't had in a little while. Yes, you're enjoying the houses, but are they really yours without a certificate of title, including strata? Is it not time, after all these years, to give these people their titles? And that's the big question. When will the government of Dominica, if anytime soon, give these people their certificates of title? Reading from the article, it states the government of Dominica has successfully built hundreds of public apartments and houses for citizens of Dominica. Commendable. Though questions continue to thrive over the arrangement between the government of Dominica and the MMCE for the construction of such apartments. Generally, we are very happy for every Dominican who has or will receive the apartment or the house. But these occupants owners, are these occupants owners of the properties, or licensee or licenses, mere occupants? On several occasions, the Prime Minister of Dominica has assured residents that certificates will be awarded to all families when they enter their new homes. Each of the families will get certificate of title. The houses will be yours. I mean, the Prime Minister has been saying that for a while. So again, on several occasions, the Prime Minister of Dominica and the Labour Party has assured residents that certificates of title will be awarded to all families when they enter their new homes. Each of the families will get certificates of title. The houses will be yours in your names, so you can go to the bank to get loans using the titles. He recently announced. Undoubtedly, a certificate of title would cause the owners to be able to preserve any deal concerning the property, any titles, transfer, mortgage, leasing, and any permitted activities to be carried out. But after 5 years, many of the licenses of purported owners have not received titles. Dominica, is that not a concern for you? The owners, the people who live in the houses, are you not concerned that you have not received your title after all these years? This trend definitely is concerning, particularly for more than 800 people who were displaced, especially from the Pilit-Savon area, following the 2015 devastation caused by Tropical Erica. Keeping in mind that the Pilit-Savon residents were property owners with their certificates of title. In the meantime, the article states, are these occupants making wills, including the gifted homes, which will be accepted without a certificate of title and proof of ownership? Upon death of the occupants, equitable owners, will the government have certificate of title to the new occupants? When will these or the certificates of titles of strata given? What will be the conditions of the certificates of ownership? When or will there be a regulatory body responsible for management of these apartments? Consider the Silver Lake housing situation. Are you going to give these people titles? Just a question. Promises after promises after promises, and these people just wait in limbo, almost threatening that if you don't give me, or if you don't give me a vote, I'll put you out. We've seen it happen before, right? Let's take a phone call. Talk to me.
I declare this thanks, blessings, and glory to all those who have sacrificed their personal safety and security, trying to elevate mankind to humanity, love, life, light, healing, joy, and gratitude. Mr. Pelton, blessings to your family, sir.
Blessings to you, blessings.
Matt, I know you're a bad lawyer. You like to say, objection, Your Honor. So based on what I'm going to say, the lawyer will say, but he has not answered the question yet, Matt. So he'll say, objection overruled. Matt, your lawyer, huh?
Not yet, not yet, not yet.
Okay. Continue to study, Matt. Matt, it is very interesting, but let me take one before I jump on the other. And I'm there with you, Matt. If you see me going too fast, you can say whole 10. You know, long time they used to say whole 8 because they had 1-ton truck, 3-ton truck. So you have to hold 8. Now, how much you have to hold, Matt? 10.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see me going so fast, not to say whole 8, it's whole 10 because I drive in a little faster now, you know, and things. Matt, I was by the doctor this morning, so I did not hear anything. So I heard they were discussing that Bashar al-Assad was arrested in Mont Daniel, overthrown, and he and his family were flown to Russia, flown to Russia, Matt. Is that true?
Flown.
Okay, it's flown. Is that true, Matt?
It is true.
Now you can say objection, Your Honor. But Mont Daniel, they were arrested, I'm telling you. But my uncle was at the hospital checking the clinic at the casualty with my doctor, and I did not see no riot, nothing. So that was a peaceful transition, Matt.
Very, very peaceful.
But what a transition. And Dominicans are peaceful people. You get rid of Bashar al-Assad without nothing, anyway. Matt, let me say something. Matt, there is a clipping. You can maybe find it. Where Skerrit is saying on Kyrie, the houses are 100% government owned. It is state property. Matt, can you recall that?
I remember.
So the listeners out there, I don't want them to believe, well, Blessing just running out this big mouth and say what he wants. Skerrit said that. Matt, that money is the resources of the state. That is state money. Your money, whether loan, grant, or passport money. If the government selling drugs and the money coming to the coffers of government, it is your money as well. Illegal money, no matter what kind of money, it's your money. The government is taking it and build apartments and put you in there and telling you it is not yours. Edison, James, Miss Charles, Patrick, John, Matt, you can help me in going along. They all build apartments and have the people of Dominica pay for their apartments. Isn't that so, Matt?
That's true. At a reduced price, but they did pay.
At a reduced price. Now you have the Dominica Lethal Party, and that is no party, Matt. Ruled by criminals. And they are taking your money and they build an apartment and tell you it's not your apartment. And one of the biggest criminals said that, when are you finished? Says all the tax money. I want to text a friend, they must write a text. When are you finished? Says all the tax money. Whose money it is? So, Matt, if now a new promise I'm hearing, Matt, and they're saying after how many years you're going to get your certificate of title, that's what I'm hearing, Matt?
I haven't heard that one yet. I haven't heard that.
Oh, so it's the same terms and conditions. We'll put you in it, but it's not yours. You can't get certificate of title. It's the same thing, Matt?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so the brutality persists then, Matt. You're holding the people are under duress. They're hostages in homes or apartments. The money is billed, Matt. And yet, you cannot get rid of Bashar al-Assad. But I just didn't get rid of Bashar al-Assad. How I saying they don't get rid of him yet? Oh, that one living in Mont Daniel. What do we have to do to get rid of Bashar al-Assad that living in Mont Daniel? A bunch of cowards just killing one another, and Bashar al-Assad there, total pile, you. Matt, you know that say whole 10 now? You say whole 10 already, no, Matt?
Not yet.
Okay, so I'm going to conclude so you wouldn't have to say whole 8 for 10. Matt, I'm just saying, Matt, a lot of people taking what is going on in Dominica like it's a joke, for granted. That too shall pass. Let us go down on our knees, even if our kneecap dislocate, even if we shift it, we'll wear knee pads. But let us pray. God don't like foolish people. God don't like cowards. And are you watching that man, Bashar al-Assad, destroy Dominica, and he living comfortably in Mondaniel? And are you yet to rise up, waiting for me? Not tell his grandmother, I have no toes, but my mouth got more fast. Is that true or not? Not have a blessed day.
Have a great one. All right, Dominica. We're exploring the issue of the titles for the true owners of houses given to them by the government of Dominica. You know, I was talking to a liberator on the weekend. He says, Matt, I support my government, but this free apartment giving has to stop. I work, I pay my taxes. So what is wrong with those other people that can't pay and at least make a contribution? So at the end, you can pass it on to another family member. But no. The government holds on to it. And I've not discussed this issue in a long, long time. Let's bet if there's an election coming up there, they're going to bring up the subject again and promise the people titles. They dangle it in your face like a carrot. This government apartment and ownership is a joke and reflects an apartheid approach to social-based party affiliation. The people are not interested in certificates of title. They have a free house, free insurance, and even the grass is cut free for the occupants, while other citizens have to work hard to pay their mortgage and cut their grass. It is better but to work in this new Dominica. Well, if that's your point, then all of us should get free apartments then. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yeah?
Hi, good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon to you.
But Matt, you should know better, Matt. Matt, you know that it's a vote-catching deal, Matt.
But at least if it's a vote-catching deal, well, give the people the apartments even after they voted for you.
No, Matt, they wouldn't do that because they want to keep you there, lingering on. So if they give you the title, you liberated. Matt, you shouldn't have come and said you liberated. You after you get that title, you can tell them go to heaven, go to whatever, and do what you have to do. But all when you in it, do not show where you stand. So they have to keep you in it. Remember, you didn't pay for it, you know. If you pay for it, you paid for it, and you know you have your right. You can do what you want, but you're not paying a shit for it. The people have you, man.
They really have you, boy. They have you.
That's nothing. People say that they're afraid to speak. They don't so they listen to 25 what have to put the granny under the pillow.
As a matter of fact, I was giving a lady a ride, and she said, Matt, you know, I'm even afraid somebody see me coming out of your vehicle. I said, why?
But it's true, man.
It's a big labor right, you know. She says, Matt, because if they see me coming out of that vehicle, I might never got my apartment. I said, what?
That is true, Matt. They have to be singing. They don't want people to see them.
How can people live like that?
But some people are mentally enslaved, man. That is what is happening to the people. They're still mentally enslaved. They're just there, hoping that, boy, if I don't want to say nothing, no, if I talk, they will think, what about the houses they give to the people in the Carib territory? Remember, Chavez gives the government $10 million. So I hope they give them people in territory get their papers because that is their money. They didn't give them no free service. There's $10 million the government of Dominica gets. We're supposed to build the houses for them in the Carib territory and give it to them for free and give them their certificate. But some of them will be still saying they're afraid. Matt, we don't know where we're going, where we're standing. But it's time for what's the man name?
Assad.
Assad. It's time for us to get, we have our Assad living here. Our Assad, the joint union with the Assad on the other side. We have our Assad here. It's time for Dominicans to think of what next can they do with the Assad we have in Dominica. Bye-bye.
I was pretty amazed. The lady asked me for a ride. I didn't ask her if she was labor or workers or freedom. But you could see, she wanted to ride to town from my village. So we started a conversation. And she asked me to put her in a particular place. I said, but why? That's not where you live. She said, man, if somebody sees me coming out of the vehicle, there's a truck that's going to roll. So I just try to be careful. I'm trying to protect my apartment promised, huh? Can you believe that? I just drove off and laughed. I never asked her if she was labor or workers or freedom. It's so we come according to a spider. Every day I get requests. Every day I get requests for people, health conditions, want to raise some money, radiothon. I never ask you if you're labor or freedom. You do it out of the goodness of your heart. That's how I always remember Dominica to be after politics, elections, everybody together. All of a sudden you're afraid of talking to your neighbor because they see you think you belong to a political party. That's so sad, man. That's so sad. Hello, talk to me. 129, talk to me. Yes, wow.
Matt, good afternoon, and how are you today, Matt? How are you?
I'm here.
Matt, I'm there and I'm listening to what is happening, Matt. And I'm looking at it, Matt. There are two categories of people who receive the apartments, right? There are those who are like those people in petite savants, who had their homes and certificate of title, and you give them a house at Bellevue. It's unfair to these people that you don't give them a certificate of title because they already had that, Matt. Now, the other people you give houses who had nothing, I can understand, well, you don't give them certificate of title yet. But the petite savant people, it's unfair to them, Matt. Those who had their certificate of title in their homes, they should get a certificate of title.
I agree. 100%. You're becoming slaves to the system. On the telephone, hello, talk to me. Yeah?
Matt.
Yes, sir.
You're letting me down,
Why am I letting you down, my brother? Why?
Matt, do you like freeness? Freeness is wariness, Matt, every single person, including me and you, who own a house or an apartment, don't we have to go and take a mortgage?
We all do.
And how long is the mortgage?
Usually 20 to 30 years.
Up to 30 years. So you never own that house for almost 30 years. You're paying that bank for 30 years. So why you don't want to pay the government for 30 years in votes, Matt? You owe the government 30 years of votes, 6 times every 5 years for you to, and then at the end of 30 years, then we'll consider giving you the title. You have paid it off. You have paid off.
So you're saying 30 years to get that title?
Yes, they owe the government the mortgage for 30 years. Come on, man.
But you and I, Peter, you go to the bank and you negotiate and you pay your mortgage. So you don't think these people are so the mortgage for them is the freeness in the house.
It cannot be free. You owe the state. You owe the state, the people of Dominica, a 30-year mortgage. Why must you get a free house? And the state is telling you, don't give me money, just give me votes every 5 years. That is your repayment. That's your repayment plan.
So I suspect you should get one too, Peter. You're entitled. You're entitled. You're entitled.
God bless.
You're Dominicans. All right. Thank you. I know Peter's just trying to be sarcastic there, but. Well, you're right, my friend is sharing that a lot of people are now asking for help. And these people are always asking for help and liberate themselves, Again, as I said, I don't ask who you vote or who you support. It's out of the goodness of my heart. So 1:32 is the afternoon time. When will these people, I'm just negotiating on your behalf, when, or maybe you don't care anymore. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, because these people call. If somebody call and they try to trace that call, and who just called there? Hello, talk to me.
Yes, Matt. Earlier on you said you had an open line, technical open
Yes,
line. Okay. This morning you said the government giving people an option to get their barrels
free
from the 10th of this month to the 10th of January. While the Prime Minister of St. Lucia came down to Dominica, ringing his bell, playing hacky, making magie, and poppy as the Dominicans technically, his people were well taken care of already before he came down to Dominica. They could get their barrels from the first, I think, of St. Lucia, November to either January or February, March. And the barrel had to be costing at least $3,000.
Well, listen to what I just found out, Blue. Somebody just came from the customs to pick up some clothes, right? Something that they ordered for their child or children. And the person said, well, Matt, I had to pay, because my barrel is not, it has to come from today. So if it arrives today, you can get it. But if it's already there, you can't get it, huh? You can't.
You wouldn't get it.
No, you won't get it.
And it's high time that the people of Dominica get to really sit down and ponder upon that. The man that leads in the country doesn't think about all you. He only need all you for all you vote, people. Get that all you mind. 1 month and the barrel $1,500. The one in St. Lucia is $3,000 for 3 months. And when you go there, you haven't got all those wrong to do, man. Here you still have to go there and over there. So you see, people, Dominicans, wake up. We have to wake up. The young people, wake up. Oh, you see what happening around the world? When the people are fed up with people and they're sitting on their neck, they're just holding them in their neck and their vice grip. Oh, you see what happening, young people? Please, wake up. Stand up for all your country, because all you have a man that is thinking about himself. $184,000 a vehicle for him to take his children to school from Massac to the mausoleum in Mount Daniel. All you cannot do that. All you can't even pay the bus for all your children. And all you just there, I waiting for what? Papa Bontier, leve Dominique, leve, nom n'a pas mêlé pizza, nom non il laisse pour faute, ça. Wake up! Bye-bye.
Corruption will eventually hurt everyone because it kills productivity and inhibits wealth creation. Some might have temporary benefits like free apartments, free ham and turkey, and free entertainment, or CWO, they call it these days. When the country crashes, everyone suffers. Haiti is a good example. The people who had palaces and gated homes had to flee when the rebels took over. Three to 4 weeks for barrels to get to Dominica. So carry this one a fast one on you. When the barrel gets there, it won't be free anymore because, of course, it ends on January 10th. And we've been having shipping problems forever. And you have no choice but to pay the full price. It's just a scam somebody's saying at this time. Somebody's basically indicating there that from January to December, The PM and his wife and certain permanent secretaries and financial secretaries bring in the items free of charge, their bags. We take home and they take it home from the plane to vehicles. No custom charges. The cameras are watching. Of course, they are VIP, so no need to declare anything, huh? Somebody said, man, I'm glad I pay my mortgage for 18 years and I'm paying to cut my grass so I can tell any politician, go to hell. Somebody's asking a question, Matt, when is the Rosa project we received the loans for, when is it beginning, huh? On the telephone, good afternoon to you. Uh-oh. Call me back. Let's go back to the telephone. 1:39 is the afternoon time. Hello, yes.
Matt, I was just watching Putin welcoming Assad.
Right.
And I wish the third one would join very soon. Thank you.
What's the third one you're talking about? Yes, it's victimization by association. Matt, if I give you my story, tail guan ouvert, mouth wide open. Well, give me the story. All right, Dominic, it's already 1:40 in the afternoon. We're having an open line there, but we're, of course, speaking to the issues of the certificate of titles that is due to the people, especially those just recently receiving apartments. I heard that from the Rosa MP that 50 more will be given away. Very soon, in the near future. Hello, talk to me.
I thought you would ask the lady which one is the third one, Matt. Matt?
She explained that already this morning. She spoke about that this morning already. So
you there with me, Mr. Pelte?
I'm still here.
I know you're a former footballer and you have watched sports maybe half of your life. Matt, you see when you're 2 goals down and then you maybe get an injury, Matt, or maybe you get a red card. In football, I'm talking about, and in every other sport, there are some inconvenience that further inconvenient you. And then 2 goals, 3 goals down, Matt. You know when you start to bow, they say bloody but not bowed, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
You do not bow. You're looking forward. That 2, 3 goals with nothing, you're looking to win them. 4 or 5 goals to 3. And Matt, you know how many times that have happened in life, Matt? What they refer to the underdogs?
Mm-hmm.
The person you're underestimating in boxing, in everything is happening. And then you check in what? By one swing with a left hook, the man all his eyes burst, he cannot see light in his desperation to stay alive. If I have one thing, Matt, the man that they're beating him all the time, flat down for the country, Matt, and he cannot get up. Matt Pelte?
Of course, it always happens.
So what happened to Dominicans? Why they're bowed and why they're bloodied and still bowed? Matt, I want to say something, my brother.
Tell me.
People hear me, Matt, this days I adding humor into my contribution so I can maintain my sanity to not just go and do something stupid and go and die. You see, death is my best friend because life is. I cannot make one an enemy and one a friend. So the both of them are my best friend, Matt. I am watching what is happening in Dominica, Matt. And people know that, they're taking it lightly. So I agree that was a bit sarcastic here, Matt, talking about, well, you have 30 years to vote me because I give you a free house, but the house in the first place is not your money. You that think you're the government of Dominica when all you're just a cluster of criminals. The money does not belong to those people who claim to be government, Matt. It belongs to the people. So that is a double abuse. You steal my money, you build apartments. In the first place, remember, you steal my money, You build apartments and depriving me from paying for my apartment. That's a double whammy, I owe you no damn votes because you're stealing for yourself. You're taking from it. Build, Matt, let's see what Syria exposed about those dirty, stinking, foolish, poorly built or poorly constructed apartments, man. Have you seen them, man?
I've seen some of them, yes.
Sewage all in yard and all kind of nastiness, foolishness, and then you want to hold me hostage and tell me I have to vote for you because you put me in my money that build an apartment, put me in it and tell me I can't get certificate of title. How many times can you be abusive to me? And what that is hurting me, Matt, is the level of ignorance that exists in Dominica, Matt. Everybody looking for nails. Some women have eyelashes, Matt. If they beat that too much, they just elevating me or levitating me, Matt. It's like wings they have on the eyebrow.
I have a Haitian friend who says it looks like an umbrella. Some of them looks like umbrellas.
Umbrellas so the eyes can get wet or something. I don't know what the hell is wrong with them. They have nails like switchblade. According to how much they move their hand, that can just slash you. And they refuse to understand, listen. And I want to give thanks to Mr. the Honorable Lennox Linton, Matt Pelty, Loftus Durant, Affy Mate, Angelo Allen, who have taught me so much that I even know they are my teachers. Although every bird and every fallen leaf or every decaying leaf, these are my teachers. Everything, ants, birds. And I am just saying, Matt, how long we are going to remain in that kind of, how they call it, Matt, when a man beating the Stockholm Syndrome, Matt, even when they kidnap you, and then you become sympathetic to those who kidnap you, so you tell them, look, the police coming, let us go and hide. But you are the hostage, you are the one they kidnap. No, you're empathizing and sympathizing with those who kidnap you to evade capture by the police. That is a level of insanity, Matt. The Stockholm Syndrome, and you say, oh, if my man don't beat me, he'll love me. Matt, you have heard that one already, no?
Many times.
So it seems like Dominicans checking more scary peel on them. No, Bashar al-Assad, 2 days Bashar al-Assad, you know, true, Matt? Bashar al-Assad, more Bashar al-Assad beat Dominicans is more they say in the love Bashar al-Assad. He can buy a limousine for his children. He do right, but he's the prime minister of the country. What do you think now? If it was you, do the same thing. Leave me alone, but I be there now. So whatever. Man, have a blessed day.
Well, you're so right on this one. This morning somebody actually called me and told me, Mr. Skerritt has done nothing wrong. So, when you remain in your ignorance, stay where you are. 449-3095. You can't convince them. All right, let's do a little shiny eyes here from King Oxen, and we'll come back for more of your phone calls. Come back and love me, shiny eyes.
I met this girl in St. Lucia. She had shiny eyes. I never thought I would lose her. She's as pretty as the morning skies. I need her love. I need you here tonight. Come back and love me.
Shiny eyes.
I'll give you money.
Shiny eyes.
I'll buy you TV.
Shiny eyes. Sing in the afternoon.
Don't leave me.
If you don't leave me, shiny eyes, I'll give you an apartment.
Shiny eyes. Mama, shiny eyes. Soon as I mention glitter and shine, say she'll come back and sing me some. When I tell she about big TV, she says she'll come back immediately. Oh, shiny eyes. Mama, shiny eyes.
Somebody says the Rosa Enhancements project have started. The modern tennis court on High Street is completed with modern lighting, fencing, and surface hard court. Soon the players' dressing room, weight and conditioning room, among other amenities, will be installed after the formal opening. Huh?
If just for a moment I could be
taking you back in time,
tender touch,
King Obstinate.
please the heart that I'm feeling so much. St. Lucian woman, like you cast a spell on me. Come back and love me.
Shiny eyes.
I'll buy you jewelry. Shiny eyes. I'll support your family.
Shiny eyes.
If you don't leave me.
Shiny eyes.
Oh, shiny eyes.
Red shiny eyes, boy. Red shiny eyes, huh?
Soon as I mention glitter and shine, she says she'll come back and see me sometime. When I tell she about jewelry, she says she'll come back immediately.
Anything for a vote. Anything for a vote.
Shiny eyes. Mama, shiny eyes. But I should have listened when Mama warned woman love money like foul love. As I was leaving the streets,
I'm a Bella. Good afternoon to you. Happy you're loving my song, huh? When your mommy have some time, tell her to play that song for you again, huh?
I never felt
And don't follow the instructions in that song, okay?
sunset. I could face another lonely day. Come back and love me. Shiny eyes. I'll give you money. Shiny eyes. You could have my property. Shiny eyes. If you don't leave me. Shiny eyes. Oh, shiny eyes. Mama, shiny eyes. Soon as I mention glitter and shine, she said she'll come back and see me sometime.
I'll give you a vote for 5 years.
When I mention me property, she said she'll come back immediately.
You hear that line there? When I mention the property, She'll come back.
Mama, shiny eyes. But I should have listened when Mama warned. Woman love money like foul love.
It's 1:52 in the afternoon, Dominica. Everybody enjoying the sound there from
Good afternoon,
Pastor.
Matt, and good afternoon to all Dominicans.
Good afternoon to you.
Hey, Matt, it's only in Dominica I see those things happening, right? That people just accept the least. That people have such a mediocre mindset that they believe that Skerrit is doing something for them, not realizing that he uses their own resources to bribe them. And, how do we allow that? How did we even accept that to happen to us as a people in this modern times when latte, eklewe, how they say it there, Matt? How do we allow that? But when we see it as carrots, some see it as carrots dangling. I don't see it as that, no, Matt. Matt, I see that as vote boxes. Boxes of perpetual poverty. As long as any Dominican decide to take a house from Roosevelt's carrot for their vote, then they have voted for even their death. They have bribed away their very life. Because how do you not vote for proper health care? How do you not vote for the development of the country? But because you are given a house and the man tells you, you have to vote for me because I'm giving you a house, then you just decide that is the value of your vote. Like, really? But look at, he gave them houses, but he could not fix the healthcare system. So a lot of them cannot even inherit those houses. A lot of them died in those houses. They did not even last like 2-3 years in those houses. In my Concord community on the Kalinago side, where they really got those houses, but they cannot get independent certificates of titles. It was in one of those ceremonies across the river. Roosevelt told the people, live within their means instead of buying a fridge with the ice maker on the door. They should buy a fridge where they can stick the butter bowls in there with the water in it to make ice like before. Something that he would not have for himself. He's a big shot. He doesn't want, he's the richest man maybe in the Caribbean. So that thing about sticking water in the fridge in a butter bowl, that is not for him, but that is for his people. That is for the Dominican people. And we accept that because we don't know the value of our votes. Well, some Dominicans don't know the value of their votes. You don't know that that is not what you have to vote for. And look at the man in Lapland. The man in Lapland was beaten and he was given a house. And he celebrated his beating because he said he should have gotten beaten a long time ago. So you see the mindset of our people? A people of warped mindset, Matt. And the people where the houses are erected elsewhere, where they can get certificate of titles for them, independent titles, they are out of titles, no certificate of titles. Because why? Roosevelt's carrot has to keep them there because they are vote boxes. That is Roosevelt's carrot, red vote boxes. And then you know what, Matt? Some of those very same vote boxes there, they did not even pass planning approval to be erected. So some of those perpetual poverty vote boxes there, in the event of a serious hurricane, Matt, some of them may or they might well become temporary coffins. Because Skerrit knows that those houses there, they are poorly built. Look at the faucets. Look, some of the houses, the sidings are falling down. And Mr. don't care because he can use the people's resources and bribe them. He can do that in the country. Now, which leader does that? What kind of leader would do that? When you vote for even your death, because the healthcare system, look at it. Everybody who goes to the PMH, 3/4 of them dying. No inquiry. Nothing as to what is killing the people. It's like there's some serial killer that comes out with that middle finger during the nights, and it's like, who is next? Who is next? Ink, stink, pen, and ink. You go out before you stink. And then nothing. Is that what we want as a country and a people? Where we cannot get better? We cannot get our government to use the taxpayers' monies to work for the country and its people? Until we understand the value of our vote, we will continue to get those degenerated houses there. That does not augur well, not even for Dominicans, much more for the country. Thank you, man.
Well, they suck up the country. Who's sucking up the country now? (2005).
Greedy black man.
Have you seen the apartments in Bath Estate built by the Chinese? And people have to endure because they love their PM. No ceiling was installed after Maria. Compressed board is exposed to the rain and sun. The external damage of the structure after Maria, or no repair. Frequent regular sewage problems, termite infestation, and the people are suffering in silence because they spy on each other and are afraid to talk. Huh? That's a message there from WhatsApp. Brother Hunter, good afternoon to you.
IMF never had to come down here to advise us on how we should take care. We shut up out to kill a fly flew away and the damn go die. I wonder why. They suck up the country dry blood. They suck up the country dry.
That was in 2005. You remember? Do you think that Mr. Hunter would sing this song today?
With no ambition, like a criminal civil servants, local merchants, look like who wants sucking it, like a criminal sucking it dry. They're giving away accuracy for speed, all because of our creed. Cutting we not to spike we face, now it's waste, man have to brace, huh?
Brace, tight up, boy, tight up the waist.
We country, they sucking we country dry, Lord. They sucking we country dry. Boom. Watch it. Evans Puyaki, Evans. I need some holy water and a big piece of pump. We're smoking them. We're coming through. Evans Puyaki, Evans Puyamama.
It's 2 o'clock in Dominique and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. We're having fun this Monday. Talk to me on the telephone. Talk to me.
Yes, Matt. Good afternoon to you.
How are you?
I'm trying my best, Matt, under the circumstances.
Okay.
Matt, and I'm telling you, you're playing that song there, we're sucking the country dry, and we Dominicans know we balling now. Okay? But if we end up putting Labour Party back in the power under anybody, we will be crawling next time. We'll be crawling. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Again, from the wave, I must speak. If I'm not around, bon, Mickey Man, une nouvelle monde. I just love this song, huh? It tells a story.
Dine, 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 dine. My wife getting sick. She said, wait, don't speak.
I've been told that the teachers of the Goodwill Secondary School from January will move to the Newtown Primary School
Alone. Them boys dangerous.
for a few months until the
Will victimize us.
project is complete there in Goodwill.
I say, darling, don't
So they'll no longer be sharing the grammar school.
must do. Man,
Goodwill Secondary School is moving to Newtown Primary School in the afternoon.
I have to talk, no matter the cost, or our children won't be able to. And that is why I must speak. I must speak. Because today in
Someone says, only to love freeness. Serve them right, keep fooling them. They're fools.
coming back.
But what is tennis court contribution to the economic growth? Not a football field or grounds of facility international cricket. Big up the blessings, long time, Rastaman.
And the way they treat
Today's Lion Monday. I wasn't aware of that.
don't forget they crucified Jesus
Messages there on Facebook. I'm just reading it this time.
while we stood on the side and watch. That is why
So much you really believe that it's free? No, it's not free. Talking about the apartments.
has to stand up and speak.
It's just for your votes and your silence. On this one, man, I agree with the government. No title to property that belongs to the government. However, the government should make loans available to people to purchase these properties. Of course, that's how it should work. On the telephone, why are you not giving these people their titles, huh? They can go to the bank and, take their loans. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Yes, but I just heard you announce that the train for Goodwill School
Secondary
have
school.
to go to Newtown.
Secondary school.
Children have train that was to walk to go to grammar school have to pay bus now to go to Newtown.
Yes, they have to pay bus and they have to walk.
Well, now we just start crawling. We just have to crawl.
Well, that's it.
Business. Some are drug addicts.
Because the construction that's taking place at the grammar school usually, posing some problems. So the students, I suspect, will have to start. Grammar school students will come in the morning, and I suspect more construction will take place in the afternoon at the Dominica Grammar School.
I'm talking in my sleep. So that is why I must speak. Hey, 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 hey. I must speak. When I see how the police spread the crooks in our office, and these ganja boys alone that face injustice, I must speak. Hey, hey, hey.
Somebody's asking me a question, Matt. I don't think the government is under any obligation to issue certificates of title. The government is responsible for facilitating wealth creation, but not in the business to create wealth through its social programs. A certificate of title will allow the property owner to sell the property at any time, or his or her choosing.
Somebody always.
But this is not the intent of homeowner under the government social programs.
Every Dominican.
So you don't think it's for what? Why do you think they're not giving them the titles, my friend? You're a bright guy. I respect you. Why do you think that government is not giving these people their titles?
Ding, 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 ding.
Well, you have some produce on the outside. It basically facilitates my discussion. To your Dios. Dios sucesal. You want to hear it again?
Dios sucesal.
Dominica. Let's go
If
back.
it's not a need, you can do without it. If there's a setting that costs 4,000, you can do it one that costs 1,500. Take the one that's 1,500 and save the rest of the money. Do not go and buy an expensive fridge because there's the ice dispenser on the door. You just put your glass and you get the ice. You don't need that. Let us use the old containers, the old butter container, and we go ice, and we take our ice pick and we pick our ice. What's wrong with that?
We're not doing well, and the whole country under one man spell. If we don't defend our homeland,
so look it. Look it. Look it through. Now they come and tell you about Scary City House, the government house. Every one of these houses that we are building under the CBA program belong to the state, 100%. So it's a state asset. The house, that house is your house. And I tell you, Scary say, well, the house that we give you benefit is government house.
Make up your mind, so make up your mind. At 2:08 is the afternoon time. Talk to me, yeah?
Not they're bright people that is in the dark, you know. Do you know that? Not they're very bright people, but they cannot shine a light for they themselves to see, you know.
They choose to remain in the dark. They choose to remain in the dark.
No, but Matt, no, ignorance is not necessarily choosing, you know. There are certain things that are inherent, you know, Matt, naturally by nature. I mean, dear friend of mine, is my brother, bottom brain. Do you think he chooses to be that way, Matt? Or his brains is wired that way? Answer me. Do you think his brains is wired that way, or he chooses to be that way? I'm asking you.
I think his brain is wired that way.
Okay. So, Matt, let us move on. Leave bright people alone. Me might have, I know, if I have, you know what they call a torchlight? a little torchlight. And if a little penlight battery, that is what I can see within the dark, Matt. Matt, I'm just saying, if the person chooses to sell the property, who they're selling it to, Matt, an alien that will come and invade the area where those housing schemes and destroy every other house, Matt, or they're selling it to another human being that come and settle there. What is wrong? If I get my certificate of title after I pay for my apartment, what is wrong if I choose to sell my apartment? I'm not burning it. And if I choose to burn it, if I'm not damaging other people's houses, I have to pay for being an arson or an arsonist, Matt. Being an arsonist. One time a fella did say arsonist. I don't know. It was a police officer. I am just saying, Matt, the illogical arguments to justify that level of brutality, that level of abuse and disrespect, Matt. I am just saying, my brother, I love Skerrit. Skerrit is my friend. Lennox is my brother. Skerrit is another brother who choose to be the little pinky finger that haven't got the strength to take the country forward like the fist. All right? I see Lennox as a fist. All right? So it's not being afraid of light or afraid of darkness. I love darkness, I love light, because out of darkness comes up light. All you, I lose in all you all the time, eh? But what I want to tell all you Dominicans, all you that afraid of death, not realizing the duality in everything, male and female, hot and cold, solid and liquid, darkness and light, life and death, or you will stay being afraid all of your damn lives and allow every dog and cat to kick all you like a football and saying, you know, let us pray, turn the other cheek, forgive 70 times 7 and all this foolishness. Matt, I am taking what that is happening in Dominica so serious, Matt. God know why my chose, what they call God, or the creator of the universe, heaven and earth and everything. know why diabetes is only impacting my toe. Not when I go in and do something, my kidneys, my liver, they tell me everything is okay. But my toes go. Matt, you have a way you can grow toes? You know any way to grow toes, Matt?
I don't know anyway, no.
Matt, if you know, tell me and do some research. Have a blessed everybody. Wake up, Dominicans. Labor!
Need nobody to tell me what is going on in my country. Oh, I can see all the confusion.
Someone says, Matt, I did not vote Eugenia Charles, but on entering Baffin State after the breach, there were apartment buildings that the government still built. Every occupant got a strata title.
Those things don't come from no banana. Rotting on and left us to suffer right and the Christmas season. 60 apples that were stolen tongue. Day by day, Lord, we keep going down.
Christmas season, huh? And this tough guava season.
Young cocoa on the ground, still waiting for the vision to come. And to make my that west look the upper and ask, put up
Matt, you don't really checking the vibes well. All what Scary telling them people to economize on, to get butter bowls, to make their eyes and save their 500, save their money and whatever. Do you realize it's at its own convenience for him to go back to use on them and to convenient him? Boy, Dominicans do easy, boss. We don't get in the way, but they do get in easy. I'll tell you what. Let me sit down there.
I feel little children trapped in red, crying and waiting for the dead. I knew this would bring a curse on us. From the perfect things that get it worse.
Somebody says, man, death is compulsory. We have an appointed time with the Lord. So whether you die now, today, or next year, that's your time. Dominicans, the clock is ticking.
I'm not building so much your PRO to tell you that abomination. That is so dumb, that is how we come. Day by day, Lord, we keep going down. By reflection, that is how we come. So we mourn and we mourn on the rain, on the sun. Yet it's far and far we come. And unless we come out from this dumb ignorance, our children just don't stand a chance. For we keep going down on the road to Sodom, and the whole country keeps going down slowly.
Slowly, slowly.
We going down slowly.
Going down slowly.
In immorality.
Slowly, slowly.
We going down slowly. Ambrose, you letting the Arab boy take you and play with you like a toy. You must listen to the people's call. Be not fit for the sea defense war. I felt not one silver and a gold. For my kingdom is not of this world. All I want is just the people and God to build nice recreational part, I tell you, we keep going down.
All right, let's continue here in the afternoon. Let's take a few phone calls. Hello, and then we'll take a break.
Yes, my brother. Yes. I've been listening. Blessings, boy. Every time you speak, boy, Dominicans don't want to listen to you. So what you have to do, blessings, instead of freezing it, give it to them straight for them to understand what you really mean on this land, because they're taking things for a joke and they're taking me and you as jokers. Matt, thanks for really bringing that show. Because if it wasn't for you and Mr. Cheridon, what we would get to know in Dominica. So, Mr. Skerrit, you mean to tell me that is the new level you say that you're going to put Dominica in? I wonder where you buy that bevel that you are saying that we are in a new level. One graduate student in a house, in your house, in the ministries, because everywhere you pass, you're really seeing a graduate student in that ministry. But nothing is not going on, Mr. Skerrit. Christmas is coming. It's not turkey and ham alone. Mr. Skerrit, please do not tell the people those kind of things you're telling them technically. Let us have a little thing with the people in the Windsor Park. Mr. Skerrit, in closing, check Matt, Mr. Skerrit, because you're making me afraid in my little piece of land, Dominica. Too many things I hear and what I know with the youth and them that turning their skin color, even their own friends and their family. Mr. Skerrit, please, instead of giving turkey and ham, let us go in the Windsor Park and have a family reunion where the people can ask you questions. Mr. Skerrit, I go in. Mr. Skerrit, I am fed up with your life.
I know you are a man that always cries for the needs of the children. So you're going to the Christmas village in the botanic gardens.
My brother, that is not Christmas village. We don't need that. What we need is double bubble for Christmas. Give everybody that working for government and the children who have cutting grass, give them a little envelope by sweat. When they sweat, you give them a little extra double bubble. Don't take our money and give us food and give the rum and grapefruit juice. Bye-bye, man.
Thank you very much, partner. Thank you. We're going to take a break. We'll come right back after this.
New York City and the Tri-State, let's get some power. It's a party. It's a party. Bone to Bone in collaboration with Creole Cultural Ambassador Prince Wadix present Winter Wonderland, the Red Edition, Saturday, December 21st from 8 p.m. 112-50 Springfield Boulevard, Queens Village, New York City. Featuring DJ Sniper, DJ Reckless, and the legendary Prince Wadix from Wadi Calling Pen. Advance tickets $50, $60 at the door. Supported by Q95 FM, the big station. La Famille Créole, tout Dominique États-Unis, New York City, portation. Nous camene, Shannon Dominique Johnson. Samedi, décembre 21. Wepawe Kozot, Fini Pompi Azon. Bon, musique et descend.
E-Star Trading Limited Christmas giveaway is on. Spend $75 or more, get a chance to win one of 4 fantastic prizes. First prize, a 4-burner gas stove. Second prize, a toaster oven. The third prize, a Ronix cordless screwdriver drill set. And the fourth prize, 10 shoppers will win vouchers valued at $100 each. Purchase items valued between $150 and $199 and get an immediate 5% off. Purchase items valued at $200 or more and get an immediate 10% discount. For purchases of $100 plus, get a large shopping bag free. For purchases of $75 plus, get a small shopping bag free. Loyalty card holders will receive double points when they shop between December 9th to December 6th. Eastern Trading Limited, we are here for you. And the management and staff of Eastern Trading Limited extends a happy 2025 to all customers.
C'est traditionnel, c'est traditionnel, on connaît, c'est traditionnel.
Attention homeowners, contractors, tradesmen, and all. Here's great news from Eastern Trading Limited. Just received a wide range of German premium quality power tools, vacuum cleaners, cement mixers, power wash machines, and more. And grass cutters at only $595. Visit our showroom upstairs of the supermarket on the bayfront for world-class Ronix power tools, swipers, power car wash, spray guns, and many more items. All 220 volts to 50 hertz and all at affordable prices. Eastern Trading Limited, making a difference for you.
We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence.
You know, earlier in the program, I referenced a letter I said that was written from. It says, when will we get, or when will they get their certificates of title, including strata? Of course, that article was written there by Mr. Joshua Francis. And he's here with me to talk to a few minutes here. We don't have so much time. It's about maybe 36 minutes. Joshua, why you chose good afternoon to you? I must say good afternoon to you, sir. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Matt, and good afternoon to your listeners. Should I say greetings? Can we say season greetings? Is it too early to say season greetings?
I mean, you have not noticed. Have you noticed Christmas around Roseau?
Yeah, I see some, tree lighting in certain areas.
I see that about all the power reps are putting on the tree lighting, what do you call it now? The ornaments,
right,
all around the place.
Yeah, I guess they're trying to light up their respective constituencies, bring some joy to the people.
Is there joy?
For some people, maybe not the majority of Dominicans, maybe not.
All right.
Material things are just part of it. Some people may be struggling financially, but just the idea of celebrating the birth of Jesus may give them some kind of joy.
Yeah, I kind of want to agree with you, but let's see what happens. Share the joy, share the love.
Right.
Well, we were talking about, Joshua, we spent about the first half an hour speaking about this issue you brought light to as it relates to, because for many years we've heard about this title or strata titles, but it seems that they keep postponing. The Prime Minister has promised, and that they will give these people the titles. What is really going on? What is the understanding of what is going on there?
Well, first of all, Matt, when we look at the housing stock of Dominica, as you know, this government has been involved in social housing, basically financing houses and apartments for the benefit of the citizens of Dominica. And the beneficiaries mainly would be the indigent, the income poor people, and in the case of Petit Savant, displaced residents. When there's a disaster, people's houses, are destroyed, and the government supposed to come to the rescue. So we have had a significant number of apartments and houses constructed for the purpose of assisting the poor and displaced residents, as we put it. And over the years, we have had discussions about certifying those houses and giving people their titles, the occupants. And you have heard a number of allegations where someone would be given an apartment, and upon his or her death, a relative would move in.
Nope.
And the government officials, whoever the representatives are, would say, well, sorry, sir, you can stay here, and put that person out. I have not been able to verify any of those cases.
I can verify at least one story.
Right. So it raises the question of when someone is given a key for an apartment, whether he or she becomes the owner. Now, in law, when one is given a key for a house, for which he or she does not have a certificate of title, he or she is considered to be a licensee, meaning that you're an occupant. You're really at the mercy of the government in those circumstances, because if for one reason or the other, the government decides that they do not want you in that apartment anymore, they're well within the legal rights to do so, because you're not the legal owner, you have not gotten a certificate of title. You're basically a licensee, unless if you have a contract or something in writing. Although you may not have a title, but something in writing saying that you are the owner of that apartment. In that case, absent a title, you'll be what you're referred to as an equitable owner. But I'm not aware that such arrangements have been prepared for those occupants in those
The
apartments.
question is, why not?
Well, I cannot answer that for the government. What I can say, based on speculation, is that giving certificates of titles for those apartments require time, because for the apartments, you would have to give strata titles. So, for example, in the Petit Savan relocation area at Bellevue, my understanding is that the apartments are located on what used to be private land. The government acquired those lands, and therefore you would have a transfer of ownership from the previous owners to the government of Dominica, and then the government now has to figure out in giving strata titles. So you can imagine that would take some time, unless if there is another arrangement where the strata titles or certificate of titles could be given directly from the original owners. That is also possible, which I suspect is not the case. So that requires time. Land and Surveys has to be involved in going around, and in some cases you have detached apartments. So in the Petit Savan area at Bellevue, as an example, you have persons who have detached apartments. So for that, they will not get a strata title. Well, I cannot imagine they getting a strata title because it's not attached to an apartment. They should get a title in absolute as the owner. Now, the issue of title raises other questions, Matt. It's not only by virtue of being a title holder, you have all these financial possibilities, such as selling your apartment, such as going to the bank to get a loan using your certificate of title as security. You also involve leasing your apartment. You can rent your apartment. Absent this certificate of title, you're denied doing most of the above. But there's also the issue of succession, whereby at this hour, as we speak, there are elderly occupants in the apartments. They may want to devise the apartment to a child, a grandchild, a grandpa. The question is there not whether if they were to will those apartments, absent a certificate of title, and they were to pass away, whether that will be valid to allow a transfer of that apartment to the beneficiary. Now, again, there's no title. So you see, those are the questions that one has to ask. So it's a very serious question.
But they're using this apartments, and it's no secret, Judge. As somebody described it, as a dangling carrot.
Well, maybe not. Based on the behavior, the political behavior of the government, the Dominican Labour Party government.
Maybe not. You know how many years this apartment in Petit Savan, just to use Bellevue, has been in place, and these people have not gotten entitled. So what's happening?
Well, the Petit Savan people in particular, in my view, should have gotten their certificate of titles already, because they were title holders.
Why is it dragging so long?
I cannot answer that for the government. It's for the people of Petit Savan to represent their interest, whether in writing or in person, to ask the question to the government of Dominica. Why is it that we have not received our certificate of titles? Because, as I said, you're looking at former owners. They went to Bellevue not by choice. That's the difference between the apartments at Bellevue for the Petit Savan people versus the social houses in other parts of Dominica. These are residents who were displaced. The government of Dominica decided that it was going to shut down Petit Savan, declare it as a disaster area, although legally that was never done. And the people were asked to move to Bellevue. Of course, some residents of Petit Savan decided to stay behind. But the point is that these people were once title holders, and therefore they had the benefit of using their certificate of titles for different reasons. And interesting, Matt, I became aware that some of these displaced residents, of course, continue to have their mortgages at the banks. And the banks wanted them to continue to pay on those mortgages. And that's another issue. I'm not too sure how that matter is resolved. What I'm aware of is that one or two of such mortgages were eventually taken to court, but that matter may have been resolved. So there are several tentacles related to the housing area in Dominica. That's just one of them. That's just one. And of course, the public should have concerns about such.
But I'm concerned, Joshua, because I've seen myself that people who can afford these houses, these locust houses, are placing these apartments, and the other people who you would say are poor in Dominica.
Well,
are left
income poor,
out.
right? Well, again, that is one of the disadvantages with social housing, especially in small countries like ours. You're going to find political patronage. You're going to find the incumbent, as in this case, the Dominican Labour Party government, giving favor to persons who they believe either supporting them, deserving based on the financial realities of such people, or for whatever reason. That is just the nature of politics.
Nature of the beast. Huh?
Incumbency, political patronage. And we have heard several allegations of the government of Dominica being involved in such. If you drive around, some people always say, but how could these occupants of these apartments afford such expensive vehicles? So you hear people saying those things. I'm not here to judge who should receive or should not receive apartments. It's a good thing for persons to get apartments from a social point of view, but that comes on an economic price. That comes at a financial price. And I want to touch on that. So first and foremost, Matt, let me say that the recipients and beneficiaries of these apartments, I'm happy for them. Everybody wants to get a free apartment, a free portion of land. If you were to get a portion of land free with a house on it, wouldn't you be happy, Matt?
Of course.
Everybody would be happy. So we must be happy for those people. We have to. We should. So the discussion here is not about the occupants or the persons who were given the apartments, because we're happy for them. The discussion here really has to do with the policies on housing as far as the government of Dominica is concerned. That is where I want to place my focus.
Why would you change about this housing policy?
Well, number one, Matt, in any country where the government gives away free housing, it comes at the expense of another sector, another possible expense. You have what we refer to as opportunity cost, whereby when you use resources for sector A, it's at the expense of sector B. So the question is, what are the prices? What are the fall-offs in placing so much resources in these apartments? Now, again, as I said, it's a good thing to give those apartments, but these apartments are being given free. So some of that money could have been used elsewhere in a...
But don't you think, Joshua, even if it's $100 or $200, you just spoke about people who have apartments. You drive around the apartments, you see the cars, you see things that the normal person can afford, but these people are given apartments and living free, and we the taxpayers have to put everything in there for them.
Well, that takes us to another item. As I said, there are several tentacles attached to the social housing stock in Dominica. So that takes us to another item, and that takes us to maintenance. Now, generally, and from my understanding, through my research, most countries involved in social housing, and I must say that I have not gotten another country where people are just being given free houses like that.
I've never heard that before.
It always comes with some kind of term and condition. To this date, we have not really put terms and conditions in place for the occupants of these apartments, and that will form part of the discussion here this afternoon. But maintenance, that is very important. To this date, we are not aware of any regulatory arrangement for maintenance of these apartments. And that's supposed to be part of it. I give you an apartment, especially in respect to the strata ownership. So you have this apartment and you have 10 occupants. The question is, are there going to be collective responsibility? If the roof were to be flown away, there is a storm, and a few galvanizers, disappears, who takes responsibility? Is it one occupant or the 10 occupants? Will there be cooperation amongst them? Is there anything in writing saying that they are collectively responsible for the apartment, or they're just responsible for their respective units? Who's responsible for the general cleanliness of the place? So those are some of the questions, Matt, that the government has to answer, because to this date, we are not aware of any such regulatory system in place for the maintenance of the apartments. And earlier on, whilst walking to the station, coming from court, I heard one of your callers making mention of the apartment at Bath Estate. And if what she says is true, it is evident of what we are talking about now. Some of those apartments were affected by Hurricane Maria, and to this date, they have not been properly repaired because, again, there's no system in place. The people are waiting on the government to come and fix the apartment.
Dependency syndrome.
So now that comes at an economic cost. Again, you give the apartments free. The question is, are you now responsible as a government to maintain those apartments? If a hurricane passes, destroys windows, it destroys doors, are you going to be responsible, or are the occupants going to be responsible? I suspect with the formulation and construction of the strata titles, the government will have some or such conditions and terms.
You're very optimistic, Joshua.
We have to. As I said, we have to be happy for those who got the apartments. The question is, who is going to be responsible for the maintenance of
Somebody
these
saying,
apartments?
yes, we're happy for them, but the implementation is pure madness.
Well, again, as I said, we're not aware of any regulatory system. A government that is responsible and focuses on efficient use and allocation of resources would have already put those in place. So it is not just a question of where are the certificate of titles for the occupants. We could also ask, where is the regulation for those apartments? What are the terms and conditions for those apartments?
Somebody spinned it in a different way today. I think my friend Peter, he says, well, Matt, these people are paying for the apartments, They're paying for 30 years because their votes. How are you going to defend that?
Well, again, that's
a vote for apartments. So every 5 years you have to vote again. It's almost like you're paying a mortgage. Your vote is very important for these people.
Well, yes, of course, that could be part of the political trap where apartments are given to persons, vulnerable persons.
You're saying it could be?
It could be. I am not going to say for sure it is.
Really?
Yes, really.
I'm surprised at your response.
Well, Matt, the reality is that there were people in Dominica deserving of these apartments.
We agree.
And I don't have a data. I do not have numbers before me as to who was really indigent or very poor and deserving of an apartment versus persons who could afford an apartment. So I can only speculate.
You never heard, you never seen.
Well, I've heard, but I'm the kind of guy who like to speak on facts, and I'm not prepared to make statements without factual support.
Okay.
So it is more speculation. But Matt, in addition to this situation, I am not too sure whether you or the public have placed any connection between the social housing stock and the performance of our banks. We have heard cries about now having a duopoly of banks, meaning two commercial banks in Dominica. The question is, does the construction of these apartments have anything to do with the banks? And the answer is yes. Now, before the exit...
I want you to make the nexus here. The construction of these apartments, from what I know, has been built by passport money.
And that's another discussion. That's another tentacle that requires, a lot of discussion, because Dominicans have not fully and truly appreciated what went down between MMCE and the government of Dominica in respect to the construction of these apartments. So that's another conversation. Hopefully we can touch before we end this program.
I suspect we'll have a part 2 on this one, because, come on, I mean, the apartments were built by CBI funds, from what I gather.
Right. So I'm coming to that. But let me show you what is the connection between these these apartments, the social houses, and the banks. Now, commercial banks, like any entity in the private sector, wants to make a profit. Isn't that so? And the viability of a bank depends on interest that it gathers from credit cards, from loans, whatever types of loan.
Mortgages.
So mortgage is one of them. All right. Now, I don't know whether you paid attention to the statements of the banks which exited our market. Royal Bank was eventually acquired by NBD. Then you had First Caribbean International Bank, to name a few. Now, these banks were liquid. They had money because you had a lot of deposits, or you had a few deposits with a lot of money. But they were not getting business as far as rapid, buoyant, and quick mortgages. For every apartment building that comes up, is lesser the opportunity for the bank, because
is this good or bad for our
well,
economy?
it's debatable. It's debatable because from a market enterprise point of view, it's bad for the economy. Because with the banks not getting, mortgages like in the 80s and 90s. In the 80s and 90s, people were doing their farming, but they went to the banks. They took their mortgages. So for every mortgage that was taken, that person had to pay interest, over 25, 30 years. So is the interest that the bank would use to pay employees to provide more loans, more credit card facilities, etc. But with the generation of this race to build 500 apartments / houses in Dominica, the banks were affected because all of a sudden they were getting less mortgages, making less money.
So who do you blame for this?
Well, it's the policymakers. I am not too sure whether the policymakers took those into consideration, that by building so many apartments, they were actually giving the banks a blow. You understand? That's just part of it. Again, scholarships. In the 80s, not many Dominicans were taking scholarships to go and study, but a few who did went to the banks. They got loans to send their children to school. Now, with more scholarships, less mortgages, the banks are making less money. They're liquid, but they're making less money.
Very interesting. There are 243. The conversation is very interesting. 449. Let me just read a few of the comments that are coming at this time. The social program is a way for the government to have a bunch of faithful supporters in all constituencies to keep voting for them at all time. The people can't repair the houses. They have no ownership. Only the indigent people should get a free house from the government. So people who can't afford.
Well, universally, Matt, the idea of social housing was to provide opportunities for indigent people who could not afford. So in a lot of countries, you would have low affordable houses where the government would intervene in the housing market to provide subsidization or assistance to persons to build. So you would have soft loans. So in certain countries, like we have Aid Bank, these banks will provide, through the government, would provide, a sum of money to make available for poor people. So generally in Dominica, you'd pay 6%, 7%, 8% on interest. I don't know what it is at Republic Bank and National Bank of Dominica now and the credit union. But so you'll get interest at 1%, 0%, because the government will subsidize. So these people who are income poor people or working poor people, they could afford to go to those banks and take these loans at 0% interest. That's just one facility that the government can provide, subsidization. In some cases, there are arrangements where the government would build and provide these houses subject to certain terms and agreements where the people would pay a certain institution a certain amount monthly. So instead of having to pay on average, let's say your mortgage is $2,000, these people would pay $200. So instead of selling an apartment that values $250,000 or $300,000 to the occupant at that price, they would sell it at $80,000. So there are different arrangements, but ultimately the occupants or the owners, the eventual owners, would have had to pay something. Yeah, we see a different arrangement. And that takes, again, because of limited time, that takes me to the other question. To this date, Dominicans are not fully aware as to the arrangement that the government of Dominica has with MMCE. And that's another important component that must be scrutinized. Hence, we're hoping that this case, which was brought before the High Court, to ask the government those questions will eventually be answered.
All right, so ask Joshua to explain the various types of titles.
Where we have the strata title. The strata title is applicable to apartment complexes where you have different units, different occupants. So the owners of the different units would get a title for their unit, for their portion. All right, it's part of
like
a
the
larger
housing schemes like we've seen Bath State
Right.
and Canefield and this.
Right. And then you have what you refer to as the ordinary certificate of titles, which could either be joint ownership, tenants in common, or an absolute owner. So you have what you refer to as joint tenancy, where you have two persons being holders of a title. And even with these situations for strata titles, the government of Dominica has to take that into consideration, whether it's giving an apartment to one occupant in the house or two or three. Take, for example, where husband and wife who were joint owners at Petit Savan for a portion of land, they are given an apartment at Bellevue. The government has to consider how it's going to give or issue the title. Is it going to be in husband and wife name as joint owners? Now, joint ownership could be tenants in common or joint tenancy. So where you have joint tenancy, the owners, the one who survives, the other becomes the sole owner. Joint tenancy. So if it says Matt and Gary, owners of a portion of land, or blah blah blah, in joint tenancy, it actually says in joint tenancy. It means that when one dies, the survivor becomes the sole owner of the property, unless if the title is severed during the lifetime of one of the owners. And then you have what referred as tenants in common, where on the title it would say Matt and Gary, or Matt and Gary as tenants in common, or Matt 40%, Gary 60%, that kind of thing. And then you have the other one where it's an absolute one person, just is the sole owner of the property.
Somebody's exposing here that, good afternoon to you. The government should not give free houses. This is somebody's view there.
Right.
They should create a housing foundation. Let them run their foundation and rent those houses. They should be calling it low income houses, and the people should pay rent to the government, and the housing people will be responsible for their maintenance. This is how it works in other countries.
Yeah, well, there are different arrangements and different proposals, but we are long gone past that kind of possible arrangement. The fact is, government has already stated publicly that those apartments belong to the people, and on some occasions they say belongs to the state. So I heard you played a clip earlier where the Prime Minister of Dominica says that the apartments are owned by the state of Dominica. Now, he would be right, because those apartments were constructed on state properties, and where they were not constructed on state properties, they were constructed on properties acquired by the state. Now, people should not confuse the apartments that were built by the World Bank program versus those that were built by MMCE. These are two separate arrangements. But where they were built by MMCE, clearly these apartments would be owned by the state. Now, what we do not know is the arrangement between MMCE and the state.
So the apartments could well be owned by MMCE?
That is a possibility. Remember, Matt, if you go back into retrospect, not too long after Tropical Storm Erica, I think in 2017, there were discussions about, and that's by the government, about constructing these apartments at Bellevue for the PT7 people. And if I recall, there was a statement by the Prime Minister saying that, well, MMC came and said they'll start building. You remember that?
I remember that.
Yeah, they would start building.
Do you
They'll
really
put their
believe
funds
that,
down. They will put their funds down and recoup their funds from selling passports.
I'm asking you there. Do you really believe that?
I don't know, Matt. I have not seen any documents concerning that arrangement between MMCE and the government of Dominica. It continues to be dubious, and like most Dominicans, those of us who want to talk, we want to know what it is.
When they're selling passports at the time?
Yeah, they were. Well, I think they're not too long coming into the market, and I think that's how they actually, came in.
And they become what? More dominant in that?
Well, over time, MMC became the main passport vendor for the Commonwealth of Dominica, undoubtedly.
All right, okay. 250 is the. Let me go back to that voice note that we were talking about a minute ago.
So, look at proof. Now they come and tell you about Scary City House, the government house. Every one of these houses that we are building under the CBA program belong to the state, 100%. So it's a state asset. The house, that house is your house. And they tell you Scary saying, well, the house that we gave you, Bellevue Shopping, is government house.
So make up your mind, Mr. Prime Minister. Whose house does it belong to?
So those at Bellevue, they are the owners of the apartments. That's what he's saying. Well, yeah, they could be owners without titles. They will be
state property.
They will be equitable owners. Well, again, until there is a transfer of the property into the names of these occupants, they are not the legal owners of the properties. And that is why questions such as making a will doesn't make sense. Willing a property which has not been certified to be yours. Until the people get a certificate of title saying that I'm the owner, I'm a strata owner, or whatever it is, they are not the legal owners of the properties.
I have not heard anybody say that that's fine. Maybe they have, and nobody has heard about it.
I'm not, no, Matt, I'm not cognizant of anyone up at PT7 getting titles. Maybe, as you said, maybe, and they're staying quiet.
Because 2 years, almost 2 years ago, I think the Prime Minister said the AG and himself, whatever the authorities were working on getting strata titles.
Yeah, several statements have been discharged in the public.
I haven't heard anything
concerning those apartments, but we don't have that information, you know. So
let's see if we can take a phone call, because we'll have to continue our conversation there. We need to know what's really going on there. Are you there, caller? Yes.
Joshua, a lawyer, Matt.
Is he a lawyer? Is he a lawyer?
Isn't Joshua a lawyer and attorney at law?
Yes, he is.
Matt, leave Joshua alone. Let Joshua speak. Josh, what's up, my partner?
I am well, thank you. How are you doing?
Only time you see you, I call 2 or 3 times. I say not to big up Josh because I heard Matt, give the whole thing you wrote in the papers and all of that. And I have to commend you highly. Your brother I love. If I don't love you, Joshua, you would know. And it's not about do love. If I do admire you in the sense of what you have done and is doing, I give thanks. Matt, I mean, all that liquor machination, the planning, plotting, scheming to confuse the people. It is and it is not. Jump, no, run, sit down, hide, and do. These are the nasty games these people play with poor people, Matt, and people are really confused. So when people like Joshua Francis, my brother, somebody of legal substance and intellectually as well, Matt, can come there trying to explain to the people the game that is being run on them, I have to admire him and give thanks to him, Matt. Matt, that is too much for our people to bear. And we have to get rid of Bashar al-Assad in Mount Daniel by any means necessary. Josh, take care of yourself. Blessings, sir.
Thank you.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I would agree. This has become a game. This has really become a game.
I just told you, Joshua, it's a game for votes.
Yeah, it's how many years now since some of these apartments were constructed?
Since 2016?
Well,
2017.
2018.
Yep.
I think that's when the PT7 people moved into the apartments at Bellevue. Yeah, that's a long time. That's a very long time to prepare titles. A very long time.
Can you blame sometimes the registry? Because I know people who have been working on getting titles for many years, private persons. Huh? So we have an issue with the registry as well.
Well, we're not even sure whether those memorandum of transfers have been transferred to the registry. We don't know whether the registrar of titles have seen any document concerning these apartments. And I suspect if that was the case, Matt, you would be aware of that. I doubt she has seen any.
Well, somebody just confirming for me, man. None has titles.
But again, Matt, you see, is what is interesting, and I always hear Blue making the point, because here it is, you have had this conversation from what time? From 1 p.m. this afternoon. Has anyone from PT7 called?
Nope. Well, not that I know.
Has anyone from the social houses department called?
You're making the point, Joshua. So if they call, they're threatened.
You're right, because
I made the point. If they call and somebody recognizes their voice, they bring to somebody there in authority, and they threaten for the apartments.
So really, that is why the people who are speaking must be appreciated in Dominica, because of course it comes at a cost. People like you, it is you're facilitating.
I was just giving the story, Joshua. I was driving one day, and a lady just flagged me down. I'm that kind of guy, so I gave her a ride. So then we had a conversation. She said, "Matt, put me down there." But I said, "Well, you don't live there." She said, I don't want them to see me coming out of your car because I'm afraid I don't get an apartment in Shirodale."
Oh my.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can believe that.
So this is what is going on.
I can believe that. And it's really a kind of political strategy. Like if there are 10 people in a yard, you as a politician, you walk in, you tell 2 people, okay, out of the 10, 2, you're getting your apartment on Friday. And you carry out your word, you give them an apartment on Friday. Then you tell the 8 others, your turn is coming here. Your turn is coming. So a year passes, the 8 still await. Another 8. So really, you would have captured the two, and you gave hope to the false false hope to the others. But they keep thinking they're going to get an apartment, and they do not want to speak against the government, because if they do, they would forfeit their chances of getting an apartment. It's really a cruel form of politicking, and it's of course to the detriment of citizens of Dominica.
On the telephone quickly there, yes.
Yes, good afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon to you.
When you read the message from someone that they don't support ownership, I have always maintained that the government in a poor country like Dominica, where you're going to have constant need for housing over generations to come because people are low salaried, cost of living is high, people cannot afford to build homes. Why should the government give homes to people who need it and they have not worked for the houses? This is tax money, and to have them giving inheritance of those houses, wheeling those houses to their children. So then children who are in the US, who are in England, who are in fact their kids, the persons who are even renting some of these apartments. So what I'm told, I'm totally opposed to it. I think there should be housing and not houses. So the persons who need who need a house because they're poor and they can't afford it should be provided with housing. The government could even maintain those houses because they continue to need it. And then when these people die, if they had a daughter, a son, some invalid child living in them who continue to need the house, they can continue to have it. But if they do not need it, why should they be able to pass it on to some child who doesn't need it? Because is not a wealthy country with gold and to be given people homes. I mean, if this is being done for politics, it should stop. It should be a question because you have to keep building houses all the time. There's a limitation of land, limitation of financial resources and locations that you can put homes. So I think it's just totally wrong. The people who are fighting for titles for these people, I am totally opposed to it. This should not be a government policy to give titles and ownership to persons who are given free housing. It should be like big countries like the UK and whatnot. They don't give people homes and tell them, look at house, take it, keep it. They give them housing because they need it. In England have council housing. When these people, if the law changes, for instance, somebody wins the lottery, they're now a millionaire. What are they doing with a government house again? They should be put out and let somebody else inhabit. So I'm totally opposed to the argument of titles and everybody fighting. To me, both government and opposition seem to be fighting for titles for these people. To me, it's just a wrong concept. Because Dominica cannot afford giving people free housing, and you're going to have, and based on what's going on now in terms of low salaries, high cost of living, people's inability, the high cost of construction, it's going to get worse and worse for people to be able to afford housing, and therefore government will have to have a recurring decimal. Where's the country affording that in the absence of CBI? CBI will not continue forever. So I think as a policy decision, government should, and I hope they're listening, should not give a free housing to anybody in Dominica with my tax money or anybody's tax money. People should be given housing because they're poor and they need it. And when they die, unless their immediate family, their daughter, their son is indigent and needs it, it should come back to the state to give to somebody else who needs it. And you don't have other people who are going to be without housing whilst others are getting free houses from taxpayers' money. I said this is wrong and this is untenable.
I think it's a very, very good point, Joshua. Very, very good.
It's a very good point, Matt. And I suspect
we'll continue.
Right. I suspect that's exactly what the government is doing. But as I said, the Petit Savannah residents, that's an exception. That's an exception. But on another occasion, Matt, we definitely will follow up.
We'll continue that conversation. We'll get this voice note and play it again sometime this week. Continue the conversation. I think he's making a very good point.
Yeah, he's making a very good point.
Free housing.
Yeah, it does make
free
sense.
Homes,
Right.
It should be housing for people who can't afford.
And then we have to talk about these occupants. They got the houses, Matt, but they don't have money. They are not working, and those who work, they are working poor. They cannot afford.
All right, Dominic, a conversation to continue sometime later this week. A very important call there we just ended with. Joshua Francis will be talking to you again sometime later this week because this is a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, for sure, Matt. Always. Once I have the time, out of court, out of office, I'm available. Good afternoon, Dominica. God bless.
God bless. Yes. It's time for Flow Dominica. Yes.
As man, you don't know the voice of Superlang represent for Hot Topics live on Carrier.